Welcome back, everybody, to the League OS Scholastic Champs. My name is Seymour. With me is Vincent. We've been commentating this whole action since round number 1, and we have arrived into the grand finals, Vincent. But to join us here on the desk towards the end of it for our predictions on the grand finals, we got CEO Marty back on with us. Welcome, Marty.
Thank you guys for having me back. What amazing action. Just like Sunday night when we had both first Winter Champions Invitational in Rocket League go the distance to Game 5, and the first one going into overtime. Both semifinals going to overtime tonight. You guys called some long ones. We got to get to the grand final too. We got Carmel in Indiana in the Eastern time zone. We got Evanston in Illinois in the Central time zone. And I'll let you guys set it up, but really exciting to have these states playing against each other. Another board. Here we go. You guys are doing great.
Here we go. Thank you. Appreciate it, Marty, for everything that you do here with League OS. But Vincent, he is correct. It is time to get into the grand finals. Evanston on one side, Carmel on the other. Both teams almost missing their chances in the grand finals. Both going to overtime, multiple overtimes back in their semis. But now they meet on Bind for our first map of this best of 3.
That we do. Bind, Carmel's pick. They elect to bring us here. And, to be honest with you, there is one thing that I thought of as soon as we heard that Bind was coming through, and that's that this is a great place for Wu to continue the chamber shenanigans that we've been seeing throughout over on Ascent. I mean, he was the story for Carmel High School. They were down bad, and they were making the comeback. They continued to do that off the back of his heroics. And I mean, it wasn't like a one-man show, but it was, I will say it, Wu, the most important, the most impactful when it came to that comeback.
Oh, yeah. Fantastic back on Ascent. It definitely would be an impactful player. I want to shift my attention away from Wu, though, heading into this bind, because if we see, the chamber, that is still to be determined, as they haven't selected anything across the board for either team, Vincent. But I need to take a look over towards Kid 6 going into this map, because that game was very, very close back on Ascent versus New Albany, and Kid 6 almost had little to no impact during it. Playing that Raze, kind of sidelined by the picks between Wu and Penguin. Now returning back into this with this double duelist chamber composition towards Bind. I need to see Kid 6 either be a little bit more aggressive and involved with these early engagements, or maybe switch away from the duelist to something different.
Yeah, I think you and I were talking in the green room about how there might be some value there if we're going to see Wu put into those positions that you would typically see a duelist like a Raze be playing, especially the way it was approached on Ascent, that there may be some value there into swapping over to like a KO, or for Bind, it'd be more like a Sky. But regardless, it seems that Carmel High School, listen, they came in, they have a plan, they're looking to execute, and well, we got a little bit of a false start right there, but it looked like they're going to continue to work on that. I want to shift our attention once again, though, to Evanston, because this is this is a squad that I think we haven't given enough credit just yet. Massive way for them to, I'm going to say come back, but to stay in the game on Lotus, right? They were up ahead. They lost that lead. In fact, there was a couple of chances for the Texas squad to come away with the victory. And Evanston, they lived up to their name, and they stopped them right there at the end of it, and were able to close out. And a lot of that had to do with one player that I think we need to talk about, and that's Neek.
Oh, of course. Neek had so many pop-off moments, so many, influential plays towards those overtime rounds, and even leading in towards those overtime rounds. But, playing up against, an indie team who, quite similarly to Carmel, were always on the back foot heading in towards that overtime. Indy sent them towards that overtime. They went to quadruple overtime, as well as, both teams having, their own chances at closing it out when it did come down to those overtime rounds, Vincent. But, like you said, it's right to kind of point out Neek amongst the rest of them. But even still, looking at our two semifinals and the way that they went, Carmel, they were slow to start off their semifinal. They had to play catch up. Evanston, they were there. They were ready to put it away in regulations, and they kind of slipped up towards the end. They allowed Indy back into the game. It wasn't as, one-sided. It wasn't as definitive, I'd say, for Evanston, as we did see towards those overtime rounds out of Woo. It was very mixy. It was very chaotic between both Indy as well as Evanston. And I think they're going to have a little bit to prove in my eyes heading into this match versus Carmel, albeit, Carmel, definitely the shining light is their individual plays for sure. Like we saw back on Ascent, but changing up from Ascent towards Bind, I'm sure this team has a plan.
We talked about the stars, and the likes of Woo, of Neek, and I mean, let's also not forget about Penguin as well.
For sure.
I think that it would be unfair of us not to discuss. I think that Penguin really deserves credit for keeping Carmel in that first half of Ascent in the semifinal. But there's some players that are kind of like the unsung heroes, Seymour. They're the mid-rounders. They're the players that keep the game rolling. And that's Reckless on the side of Evanston, and then Laser for Carmel High School.
For sure,
and, again, there's not time here to talk about everybody, but I think that both of those players served a very similar role within their team during their semifinal berths, and that was to, in Laser, especially in the mid round, finding the two crucial kills to keep a round going, to make it possible to get into that from that 2-on-3 into a 1-on-2 or something like that. And Reckless in the clutch was so incredible for Evanston. I think, how many times did we see him get a double kill just in a 2-on-3? All the time.
Yeah, for sure. And looking at Reckless is, that player who shows up when it really matters. P-Killa right there with them. And Chow heading into this brought out the Chamber back on Lotus. So will we see that Chamber versus Chamber match on Bind? Which, honestly, if I don't see it, I would be a little bit surprised because of how good Chamber can be on this map. And with how strong Woo was to close out that semifinal, I think that is almost a must pick here for Chow to see if you can combat this player.
It's kind of funny. Kid 6 on the Rays, which you rarely see on Ascent, and now on Bind on the Jet, which you rarely see on Bind. It's kind of interesting. There's two other things that I want to point out, and that's number one, just in the same way that by playing double duelist here, you are very much losing out on Ascent on your Killjoy or that second initiator. You're very much losing out on a Cypher on this map. 100%. And that's something that I am really interested about, because you could argue not that big a deal in Ascent. It's a massive deal here on Bind. And you're really going to have to take aggressive duels in order to counteract that fact.
It's not a site that you can just easily walk in and retake with just guns, especially when you look at what is kind of being pieced together here inside of the composition of Evanston. A Cypher hovered, a Sky hovered, a Fade, as well as an Omen and a Raze. I mean, not having to rely on those pop-off plays from, their duelists. Leaving it up to the utility, layering them on for Evanston was what really shut down a lot of the time that Indy team back in our semifinals. So looking at them kind of piecing together a more so meta composition, I think the Fade being one that has definitely found a resurgence in recency to Valorant. But the only thing missing here is a Breach. And I don't even think that is a crazy thing to kind of leave out.
I don't think that's the only thing missing. Where's the Viper? What? There's no Viper.
Switch my thought. The only thing missing is the Viper, not even
there
the
we go. There we go. Yeah, the Breach we can do without. I agree. As much of a Breach enjoyer as I am, Bind with no Viper is a crazy thing to see. And
from both teams.
Yeah, I think that Viper is a must pick here, and the fact that we don't have a single one is insanity, and I'm here for it. So what does that mean? Well, because neither team have a Viper, it doesn't mean anything. It's just interesting to see.
I mean, it's been so long, I feel, since I've watched Valorant without double controller compositions. And if
particularly on Bind.
Yeah, of course. On Bind, on Lotus even, too. But, if this is going to be, our grand finals, I am very welcoming aggression out from Wu with the headhunter. Rendezvous back, unfortunately loses laser, but Wu not going to shy away from the fight, goes back in with the classic, just finds no value. The TP's over towards A. Who is it? It's going to be the Rays here to hopefully block them off. Penguin alone inside of showers. Chow hasn't seen anything.
Well, Chow needed to play a little bit more committed to the lamp. Maybe not the telly for the second time. Reckless is going to get out of it as well. They're just keeping them guessing. One telly to the other, and the B side overwhelmed. Plant coming down, and 3-on-4 retake required.
You hear the TP. Immediately, you see Reckless turn around, and Neek is hitting the full rotation from Fountain. Shakhtar's going to be able to collect that kill. 3 versus 3 now, but it's all down to Neek on his full rotation from Fountain. They lose Kid 6, and they lose Penguin. Sop all alone. They know exactly where the Silva is, but in a moment's time, it's a knife in the back to start our grand finals.
He shanked him. He's done it in round 1 of all times. What a statement from Evanston. Number 3 seed coming in from Illinois and delivering in the pistol. Carmel's map pick, remember. Oh, boy.
And I feel like we keep on talking about the seedings here into it, Vincent, and I like the way they went amongst it, using the ranks to, ideally set a ladder here on these teams. But I think you and I both know that when it boils down to a competitive esport like Valorant, ranks don't matter.
Well, you know what does matter? The judge, because it's not really nerfed. It's fake nerfs. Jay Dizzy. Fantastic. This is what I'm here for. This is why you play the Rays on this map, baby.
Unfortunately for Penguin, just not able to make anything happen with this Rays pick just yet. So far, our double duelists have found no pressure at all for their defense, and they are getting walked on.
Hey, last round, that didn't count. It was pistols. It's fine. This round, it's where things really do start to matter. We've got the full weaponry at hand, and Jay Dizzy still hanging out with that judge, and a whole boatload of Spectres sitting in the back pocket of Evanston. We'll see what they can do. I think they're going to just try to close the distance again here at A.
Why not? They're going to throw smoke over towards the showers, see if they can box in some of these players inside the site. Kid 6 is going to disengage. Quick trade for P-Killa. Doubles down with Reckless, and that's a Vandal picked up. They know one more is alive, and showers flanked. It's Penguin to get shot in the back of the head.
That late lurk
looking to be devastating.
So strong from Chow. Just walking, waiting for the right moment where Penguin is entirely dealing with the push at A. That's when he activates.
All down to laser. Nice shot through the smoke, lands into the head of Wu, but 30 HP, a paranoia. No real information on where to throw this paranoia. And no
Laser is a zombie.
This one, the Hunt is going to show him. What an incredible piece of utility there from the Fade to throw the Hunt and to have him to feed that information to your Sky. And that is 3 rounds in a row to start this grand final. A fantastic start from Evanston.
Not just any 3 rounds, though. That is a bonus round. Massive for momentum. Massive to break the economy as well. The first gun round, usually something to just, take that goose egg away, right? You're typically walking into lesser weaponry depending on how effective you were in your eco. That not the case. Not only was it a flawless anti-eco, but they traded out beautifully onto the site.
And for players who, have maybe seasoned when it comes down to competitive esports, I'm sure you expect them to just bounce back in future rounds, Vincent. But for high school players who may be entering competitive esports for possibly the first ever time, this could be a little bit chaotic.
There's no way P-Killa gets that kill. No way. He doesn't deserve it. Take it back. Remove it from the scoreboard. Running and gunning. Absurd. Oh, subs player. That was awful close. They can't quite connect. P-Killa on the triple. And it'll be 4 in a row. What an explosive first 4 rounds. Evanston showing that they have come out to play, and I'm getting some deja vu. You talked about it in our pre-show on the desk, Seymour, how they came out so incredibly early back in the semifinals, and then that's when things started to become a bit more difficult.
Yeah. But at the same time, I'm just not sold on this composition that has been put together for Carmel High School.
I'm sold on Wu, though.
Of course, I'm sold on Wu. Wu's not the issue anymore. It's been this double duelist composition as Wu's going to find a first blood immediately traded. You need to see Penguin really find his own here, really find his rhythm.
Isolated back of the site, Chow with that later push out towards the shower side. Oh, that's plant denied for the moment. This is allowed time for the rotate.
Kid 6 gonna swing. First kill locked in. Nice read onto the second one, but caught in the reload. Still walks away with a kill there onto Chow. Kid 6 just living on site. Neek 1 versus 1. Full HP in the Phantom with a spike kill. Just has to wait. But Neek gets it done with a 4K clutch.
Was that a 1v4? I mean, absurd! This guy is unstoppable. We talked about, would it be Neek? Would it be Wu? Who would be the one to watch? And Neek getting it set in stone. He is that guy. What a play.
What a play indeed. 5 rounds in a row. I mean, Evanston comes into this one sitting, waiting, watching the absolute gauntlet that Carmel was put through back on Ascent. Fighting from the back foot so much versus New Albany.
Strike down A.
And who was it to dig them out of that grave? It was Wu. So tour de force in this round. Can he lead his team to salvation?
It's a great question, but we saw the tour de force before. But getting onto the site already, that's made that tour de force so much more difficult to better utilize. Oh no, he gets taken down by the paint shells.
Last player standing.
Kid
Blaze
6.
gonna find 2. 3 versus 2. Sop with this judge, but
Gun here.
being
Thrifty.
Kid 6, we talked about, you know, what the difference maker would be, who would be stepping up around Wu, and Kid 6 does it there with the Blade Storm. It's a round where they have just those ultimates and a judge or two in their pockets that gives them the success that they're looking for.
Right here.
yeah, the Thrifty is a much needed round for
Right here.
them to find there for the side of Carmel. First one in the game. I mean, you talked about that third round is usually the one that gets the goose egg, and as soon as you lose it, things are sent into shambles. But this is a big round, and it looks like they're immediately going to try for a little bit more.
Right
the
here.
fights at range through showers are completely lost from Carmel, and that leaves the A site
Right here.
open.
Hunter's Fury, that's the hope to deny the plant, but Neek's already there, been doing that for a while. Oh, what an adjustment from Laser. This has cut it to a 3-on-3, but there's still so much utility post-plant, particularly that Nightfall.
Away, walks right into him. Chow beheaded. Spike just continuing to tick down here for our attackers. Both doubled up. Inside U-Haul, Paranoia gonna lead in, but shot on the side. Kid 6 and Sop both go down simultaneously. 1 versus 1 again for Neek. Omen v Omen.
He has to from the shadows. He can bait this.
Raining. Paranoia is gonna land, and even still, as soon as he turns this corner, he's gonna see Spike not getting diffused. There's just no time for Laser to do both at the same time, and Neek is playing with his food, Vincent.
Another clutch. Omen v Omen this time. Neek again. Twice in the first 7 rounds of this map. And I know I mentioned it before, but Carmel, they picked this. They brought us to bind.
They did.
And right now they're down pretty handedly. 5 rounds. Not unwinnable by any means, but I do want to mention once again, Carmel High School were down pretty bad in the first half of Ascent.
I've got your trail.
Yeah, and they were able to bring it back to a 6-6 half, though. Now, it's now or never for down. The Cypher is going to be caught inside the tripwire, so Asop's going to be able to trade out. Amongst it, though,
Spike planted.
EV4 the spike goes down.
Showstopper, actually, for both sides. And Wu is the critical part of this retake. He's still in hookah, hanging out and having some strong positioning.
Player standing.
It looks like Jay Dizzy has about sealed the deal. Wu couldn't get involved fast enough.
Team Ace.
Team Ace coming out from our attacking side. And it just seems like they are free to do whatever they want here on Bind. 7-1, Vincent. 6-round lead. Guaranteed an advantage when the half ends. And now heading into the back half here with the possibility of even pushing it farther. They have the Showstopper. They have the Neural Theft, the Nightfall from the Shadows. So many tools to keep this going.
Yeah, their tool belt, it's overflowing. They simply have too many. The hammers, the wrenches, the whatever. And off the back of a 12-2-7 Neek. When your Omen is playing so incredibly, it's hard to have any answers.
Showstopper immediately going to be used. Jay Dizzy is in there as well. He's going to blind one. Not before Wu catches him, though.
How many times?
Great Chow to split the difference. Numbers in the favor now of Evanston.
Penguin has got to recognize Chow's position there late into showers. It's happened every single time this A-hits come through.
Chow now free to do whatever he pleases from the hop-up. Sop's going to know this one, but they have to eliminate this member. Kid 6 is going to make that happen. Back in towards the corner here for U-Haul, P-Killa, and Neek to try to do it once more. Versus 2, P-Killa. Gonna swing this one. Sop gets towards half. Swings out. They line up, but he only gets the one. Neek with the clutch yet again, Vincent. Yet again.
So let's just do some quick counting. Mathematics here. 1v4, then a 1v1, then another 1v1 right there. That's 3 clutches in 9 rounds. His clutch percentage,
Pretty good.
I think it's 100. I think it's actually 100% attempts to success. 3 out of 3. And if it's not, it's darn close, and I don't care. Another eco on the cards here for the Carmel High School squad. I mean, the good news for them, this is a best of 3. So things continue to go poorly. They still have some ways back into this, I guess.
Wu's gonna land a shot here with the headhunter over towards Showers, recover a gun from that ground, and now with a little bit of Showers control, is it gonna be enough for this retake? You lose out on your sofa, though. That's information gone. Backed in towards U-Haul, tour de force brought into the round, called into action, lands 2, all down to the sky. 1 versus 3. Information is known. The judge just running it down, and Laser finally going to deliver a second round here to Carmel High School.
And Wu, I mean, who else but Wu could it have been to step up in such a way? The tour de force, second opportunity with this half. And he gets the triple kill needed on, once again, by the way, only 2 rounds that they found victory have been ecos. They've been half buys. Carmel High School can't buy a gun round to save their life.
They can buy a thrifty round at least twice.
Well, it's a good deal. Let's, you know.
I mean, is it?
Snuff
No.
them out.
8-2. And even still, you look at...
Ooh, look at Wu. Pushing all the way forward through showers as well.
Face your
Look at
fear.
Chow. So patient on this lurk yet again. He has been the thorn in the side of the Showers control. And now for Sop, the information is there, just not able to land a shot.
Oh, great paranoia. That catches perfectly. Laser is there for the assist ×2, and the Hunter Siri gonna get activated as well.
From downtown, Kid 6 gonna find
One
Killa.
enemy remaining.
The TP back. What is this?
Kid
Spike
6.
is not planted. It is down on the ground, and the TP was taken from Reckless to hit this full wrap back around Market. 4 versus 1. It seems like Carmel have found their way into bind.
Off the back of some heroics from Kid 6 and the showstopper, the Hunter's Fury. Exactly what they wanted. That'll be Reckless only getting the one before going down, leading us to the final round of the half. This is 2 rounds in a row, and normally that will be enough to start to break the economy of your opposition, but not this time. Yeah, it's a little dicey, but it's by no means bad.
And even think about it, I mean, if they're going to be banking on some heroics, who's going to be the next one to step up here for Carmel? I think it's on to us,
Let us
Vincent.
hunt.
Because
We got to step up.
we talked bad about Wu.
Watch this.
He was the one who
Area.
brought back the game, on a sense. We talked bad about Kid 6. Here he is, 9 and 8. Up in the round, though, over towards B long. Sees absolutely nothing. It's Wu alone on site. Finds the kill and showers onto Chow. And staying alive with this control.
Get him.
Oh, but Jay Dizzy, what a shutdown position with the judge. Coming through that choke. Jay Dizzy, oh, he's traded. But they're going back B.
Yeah.
Quick and simple. No chance to deny this plant.
And no ultimates really to secure this post plant at all. Wu gonna bide his time, wait for the flank. I'm
Spike
loving the
planted.
aggression coming out all the way from elbow. Seems like they want to take the fight all the way over towards Carmel, but Kid 6 is ready for it. Neat goes down. Reckless not expected to be sitting here. Now all alone. 1v3 yet again for Reckless, but this time the spike is planted and the time is on his side. One away from getting the Seekers, but needs to find a kill. Just before that, laser denies him of that first kill and puts away the round for an 8-4 half.
Well played. Comeback central for Carmel High School. They do it again. Down very badly in the first half, and a recovery of massive proportions. Even 8-4. As much as that's still a very solid first half for Evanston, let's not pretend like it isn't. But from what they had to what Carmel stole back, it's up to a second half once more for this Carmel High School side.
That goes there.
Ooh, well, you know, if there's anything that we learned back on a sense is that we can never count out Carmel High School, Vincent. So
True story.
let's take a look. However, one thing to talk about is I don't think they've really found a pistol round at all since we've seen them on stream. So is this where they finally get it done on attack?
It's a good point. Those pistols, very much nice to have. Jay Dizzy, great escape.
Right now, and starts off the round with a lovely shot there onto Jay Dizzy. The pre-fire is coming out from the Sheriff's. Kid 6 gonna lock down 3. Chow, what do you got for me
Spike
here?
planted.
1 versus 4. Classic. And that is about it. As soon as he peeks out, he's gonna be seen. And the swings are good. Wu's gonna trade it out. Chow able to find 1 consolation kill. But a pistol round finally secured for a much needing Carmel.
This will put them into pretty much, as long as they can confirm this second round, it'll put them right back into contention. 8-4, not so bad that, you know, a pistol round victory in the follow-up will not be enough. I mean, they'll still be down a little bit, but first, you do have to deal with what is 3 shorties on the other side.
Pushing towards A from a main off the blast backs. They're going to the deep end. Shorty tucked away inside U-Haul has been seen.
One enemy
And so has
remaining.
Penguin. The judge is going to light it up. Kid 6 does it again.
Long.
Kid 6.
We are singing his prayers now. Or praise now.
He's been hitting all these shots all half long. And Jet, as much as it is certainly not the norm here, when you have the Rays already and you're working the chamber, it is the go-to for Kid 6 and for Carmel High School. Much more to be determined, though, especially in the gun round. This is where things started to fall apart for Carmel High School in the first half because they couldn't find a way to win this first gun round in the bonus. We'll see what Evanston can do on their own.
We'll see exactly what Evanston can do, hopefully, on this defense with these rifles in hand, but they're getting pressured out by a judge yet again. It's Kid 6 to open up. Neek goes down. Chow alone on site, able to stop this plant from getting, or the spike from getting planted here. Chow backs away too. Fortunately, Pete also falls to the judge, and that is Vandal upgraded all the time here.
Got you. Spike planted.
So much more to work with, especially with the Blade Storm, a possibility, but Penguin doesn't even need any support from Blades.
He doesn't. Back and forth trades. We're in a 2 versus 2. Laser tucked away. Neek clutches up from the spot. Last time, can Laser do it? They line up, but unfortunately, Laser just doesn't hit the shots. The Bulldog a little bit off target for the second one, and Jay Dizzy comes to the rescue.
Down to the wire and down to business. The first gun round, it's all theirs. Evanston right back in it, extending their lead back up to 3. Much more to be playing with, though, and looking at that last round, just the approach out towards A, trying to just pick up the pace, which honestly I'm on board with. But look at this. As great as that win is, down to the 1v1, money's gone. In fact, it's bad.
So they need this round. If not, possible comeback for Carmel yet again in a map might be here as they're just setting up with this push towards A, and here they come. Kid 6 leans over. He's found so much value with this judge in the past, and it's not needed this time, just securing the space. Back in with the judge. Finds Kid 6, but can't get a second one. Reckless is the one to open up this round. Tries to swap over to the judge. It's P Killer. Now 1 versus 2. Jay Dizzy, the Vandal, that one in the last round. Can it do it again here? Tagged. The information. Only able to get the 1 there. Laser clutches up with a 3K.
Down to the 1v1s time and time again. How has this come down to the individuals every single round? We talked about the performance that Neek was putting together and how he was really pushing Evanston into their victories by winning those 1v1s. And now it's again, same situation, but Laser in this round, the previous was Jay Dizzy. It seems like this whole game on a knife's edge between success and defeat. It'll be 5 stacks over on A here. Evanston just going to play the short position. Don't want to overextend, but waiting for them to walk right in, and they might do so. Carmel might give them exactly what they want here.
Might be the case. Carmel has the trap laid down. Now it's going to be spotted and eviscerated by the paint shells, but there's a lot of damage to be taken by just sheriffs and stingers. Unfortunately, though, for the side of Evanston, Reckless is the only one here with 1 HP tucked away. Things get swept away immediately, Vincent. And this is now down to 1.
Yeah, that'll do it, man. It's a pretty quick round considering they were stacked up together. That will happen. I'd love to see... Honestly, I'd love to see an op or something come out for the defense. I think Evanston need to do something to change up the way that Carmel are approaching this attack side. Because at the moment, Carmel have been able to just walk into a site, play together, and win. That's something they were great at back on Ascent. And they're doing it again.
Rifles back in the hands of Evanston. A lot more patience being showed here as we're seeing some posturing over towards B, and a quick rotation possibly getting called here from Chow back into the site, so maybe nothing too decisive here. Old Cage is looking to at least give Chow a little bit of room to finesse his life.
Oh,
and he
this is so
right
smart.
now. Somehow P-Killa walks away. Neural Theft down, not able to take Kid 6 out. And numbers now for Carmel.
Spike planted.
That Blade Storm denying such an incredible play from Chow. And the Seekers leading the charge with the Showstopper as well. Everybody has to retreat.
The show is going to go on for a couple of these members. 3 versus 3 tucked away in elbow. 3 separate sides. The flank coming in as well from Wu. Neek is blind, but now it's just Wu. And the spike isn't planted for him, so he has to fight this one out. And Reckless takes him down and keeps Evanston in their lead.
Again, down to a 3-on-3, and then the clutch. Look at the HP. Just in the red in both instances. With that said, economy not broken, and so many ultimates. Everything ready to go. The Blade Storm used last round. Everything else is good to roll. Carmel High School. I'd love to see them just take some sort of plan hit. All right, A, execute. Showstopper right up short. Something along those lines. Maybe the Hunter's Fury to buy the space or clear out lamps.
Oh, the haunts. That's early info towards Showers. The double stack here from Reckless and Jay Dizzy. He is Wu, spots the shoulder, the flash out, but no follow-up. Jay Dizzy still on a top angle. They line up for Wu. That is unfortunate for Evanston. Neek now looking to run away, but only able to take one down with him.
The Neek show is over. It's Wu who's putting this together. Aries on the jump, and Wu's got them all. The ace for the chamber. Carmel High School may have lost the last round, but they step up into the next, and they didn't need any of those big bad ultimates that I was talking about. Just set Wu and let him run.
Yeah, we were talking about this in the green room. It's Wu back on Ascent that brought them back. 32 kills out of the chamber to win out in overtime.
Yeah.
And if Wu does this again, he may be the best player that we have in this tournament. Back-to-back performances, putting the team on the back. This time, he's had help constantly. So it hasn't just been the Wu show, but in moments like that, it really feels like Wu can turn the tides in an instant.
Yeah, massive step up as well from Kid 6, just to really sell that, considering what we saw previously. This is another hit out towards A, and getting a little bit dicey is Chow.
Wait, Chow? Neek? Hello? 1v2? What is happening, Sop? It's kind of trapped here.
Scott with the C's.
With the C's, the paranoia is going to keep him on his toes. The jump around from Neek. He said, or you said that Neek took a back step here in binds. He took that a little personally, Vincent.
Well, he was taking the backseat to Wu, but he has just grabbed the steering wheel, yanked it from Wu's grasps, and stomped on the brake because the Wu show is currently over, at least for the last round. Here's the problem. I keep talking about these ults. I don't know when they're going to happen, but when they do, it's bad news here for Evanston. Whenever Carmel look up and see, oh, hey, we have all these ultimates, we could use them. Yeah.
Mark 2.
Nightfall for P-Killa too, just in case they need a little bit of pressure off their shoulders. So Jay Dizzy tucked away Newhall and posturing at A once again. Do we see the showstopper? Should we see the showstopper? Jay Dizzy's going to show a little bit of a shoulder here, but I wanted to overstay this welcome. The pain shell's going to back him down.
Ooh.
What a shot there from Saw. P-Killa caught in the wall bang, but they can't forget about Jay Dizzy.
Well, no one's forgetting, but unfortunately, the showstopper might be the end. Never mind, Wu. He's ending them before they can even come forward.
1v4. Jiao. Position known.
Oh, boy.
Flank. Sop puts it down. 10 rounds for Carmel. At one point, Vincent, this was 7-1. 7-1.
Yeah, I can't believe the fact that we have come so far. But when you look at the score and what some of these individuals have been doing, it's more understandable, more reasonable. But the biggest problem coming into this round for Evanston is that they are once again broke. Once again, on to Judge's hero rifle for Neek, but this has been effective. How many of these eco rounds have they won? 2 or 3?
How many thrifties have we seen this or today, you and I? So
very many.
It doesn't seem like that's going to be the case at all, as quickly the B side is overwhelmed, but chance is always there. So there's a good chance here that we're going to be seeing a tie game heading into the back half of Binds, but without Evanston being on match point, Vincent, is this looking like a little bit of trouble? What can these Evanston players do to maybe make this a little bit more expensive than Carmel has planned? Chow's going to catch some timing, shoots big one to the back. Jay Dizzy's going to take another gun at a Laser's hand, but we reach 11-11 here on Binds. One of these teams better be making a wish.
What's so crazy about the way that Carmel High School are approaching this game is that it's not complicated. They're making it so simple. Just stick together, play the trade frags, and then get onto the site, post plant. There we go. If they can get into a 3-on-3 every single time, they're winning. And even then, it's often not even that. They're just finding the entries. Woo doing that alongside Kid 6, and every time that happens, that's round over from the start. Tour de Force is out. Full bank of ultimates for the defense of Evanston, though. And it's now or never. Penultimate round of this game. Unless, of course, we go to overtime. Which, at this point, Seymour, would be fitting.
That cover's going to be blocking this Tour de Force. Rendezvous is set up just in case Wu gets caught slacking. Minute left. Everything just to be wound up to explode onto site.
Watching here.
Chow looking to... It looks like Chow just wants to catch the raise in his arms. Really be able to do it. Who knows? Cyber Cage is going to be put up. Cloudburst is out. Somehow, Neek is going to find the skill onto Kid 6, and Chow has danced his way over towards the wall. Penguin's going to trade it out 4v4. Reckless Neek. Now it's down to Wu to make this difference. 1v3. And he's known. Rendezvous back out. Tour de Force at the ready, but he misses the shot that he needed to hit. And Jay Dizzy puts it away. Evanston hit match point first.
And Evanston had the chance in the semifinal to close it before overtime. Now they do the same in the grands. Absolutely crazy scenes. And right when they needed it most, everybody there for Evanston stepping up. Shout out Chow, who has been incredibly creative with the way that he's been approaching the Cypher on that B hold. Anytime we see him there, it's just really impressive the way that he's using his cages to maneuver.
P-Killer!
Oh, okay!
Oh, double kill out of showers. Welcome to Binds. Wow, this could be the last round. Jay Dizzy just securing it.
They're pushing everything. They can't be stopped.
Malaysia. I mean, they're holding hands. They're cowering. Set up on a crossfire, but you've lost part of it. And
lost it all.
Away on the back pedal. Constant pressure on the sofa. And that is Bind going the way of Evanston to start this grand final.
That is Bind. Carmel's map pick going the way of Evanston. That is just heartbreaking, as Carmel, they were down pretty much that whole map, and they consistently started bringing it back. Woo, Kid 6, Laser, the 1v1s, the clutches, the massive opening engagements. 9 first bloods for Woo, 3 for Kid 6. The way that they were approaching that attack side was phenomenal. Right when they thought they had it, when the comeback was made, that's precisely when Evanston made their mark.
Yeah, I mean, what a way to start this one. You take Carmel's map pick away. You're heading to Lotus. Lotus may have been a little bit of a tough one back in your semifinal, but I'm sure they're going to be feeling good after that win. Vincent, we're going to step away, get things set up for a second match, take a little bit of a break, folks. We will be back with Game 2 of our grand final here in the League OS Scholastic Champs. See you soon. Welcome back, everybody, to the League OS Scholastic Champs. My name is Seymour. With me is Vincent. We're heading into Game 2 of our grand finals between Carmel as well as their opponents out of Evanston. And Vincent, heading into this grand final, you know, you'd say you look at the seeding and see number 1 Carmel on their pick of binds, looking to start off with a lead, but they get it stolen away 13-11 by this Evanston team that just keeps on getting better.
Yeah, and it really sets up a bit of a devastating gauntlet for Carmel. They have now got to win Lotus, Evanston's map pick, who we already saw win, as close as that was. Triple, quadruple overtime, whatever we came to at the end of the day. They have to not only win Lotus, but they have to win the final map of Split as well. They've got to get the reverse sweep going. That's the requirement.
It is
Evanston, though. Just one more map, and they are champions.
Champions definitely sound good, I'm sure, for these players, Vincent. But heading into Lotus, I mean, there's a few things that we have to, I guess, touch on for this team from Carmel High School. And it starts with this double duelist composition. Heading to Lotus, it has to kind of lead me to believe that we need to see them swap away from this double duelist. It barely worked on Ascent. It didn't work on Bind. And, you know, it has its moments, but it's just nothing safe and secure. And already looking at them heading into Lotus and seeing Arena pick, that does not make me very excited.
So let's just conceptualize as well why we're talking about the double duelists like this. Why doesn't it quote unquote work? Well, the reality isn't that these individuals can't step up or that they aren't stepping up. We saw Kid 6, who struggled a little bit on Ascent in the semifinal, really dominate, but then Penguin was left with not quite as much space. It's about the space available, and you really only have so many positions that are in those like star roles. If Woo's taking those, then, for example, you won't, and Kid 6 is taking them as well, then Penguin's going to have a little bit of more of a struggle. And that's why I love this Gecko swap. I think Penguin onto the Gecko makes so much sense, even though it's maybe not the norm anymore. There was a lot of trialing with Gecko on Lotus when Gecko first got released, but a lot of teams have gone away from it. I still think Gecko is really strong.
I as well think that Gecko is a very strong pick too. I don't think we see it enough for, you know, what can be utilized for it, but it's just going to have to, I know, show in, you know, what we get from them, to be honest, Vincent, because it has just been a very, very difficult game that we saw back on Bind from them. And, you know, I don't even think Gecko is like the worst thing in my head when I'm looking at this composition. It's again, and, you know, I know Wu has had, you know, those pop-off moments on Chamber, and now switching over to Reyna, you have a similar job, but it just doesn't seem like a recipe to success for me.
I'm on the opposite side of the equation. This is more of a recipe for success. This is the best I like, the most I'm into the composition for Carmel. And I think that Wu has shown that, listen, if he's doing that with the Chamber, imagine the Reyna. You know, that's just kind of where I'm at. But TBD, we shall see.
It has to be where they're at. I'll tell you that. Heading into this game, too, it's elimination right now for them.
Fair enough. I also think that having that additional, the additional utility that the Gecko will provide is going to be massive. Out towards B. Oh my goodness, Kid 6 is in Waterfall at, what was the time? So early. I don't even know the spike went down.
It's Mach 10 if that's possible.
Maybe faster, actually.
Maybe.
Last player
They're denied. A-Link control. Stop's going to right-click his way through J Dizzy and Neeks, and a flawless pistol into game 2 for Carmel High School. Shutting up the haters. That's me. I'm the hater.
You talked about, you know, it's been a struggle maybe for them to find pistol rounds. Not this time. This is maybe a recipe for finally getting a strong start. I feel as if Carmel, their storyline this whole tournament, this whole event has been, Can they get a strong start? Outside of those quarterfinals, that's not been the case. Now, that may be the case here. Of course, we know how deadly these classics can be, and it'll be all the classics heading down towards the pillars.
You see Evanston take a little bit of a gamble here, set up on the revolving door. It's going to open up and hopefully catch some of these members by surprise, but no surprises here. 4 players get eviscerated. Jay Dizzy didn't even want anything to do with that, so he hid in a corner and waited for everything to be finished. He's going to rotate over towards Waterfall. They know that's the case here with paint shells being thrown out. Round number 2 on the horizon. And it's only a matter of time, Vincent. Here we go. 2 rounds for Carmel.
This is the Carmel that we've been looking for. One that has been a bit missing, but has found its footing many a time, whether it be late into the map or this time a bit earlier. Heading into the gun round, I want to see how this is approached. Without a Sky and without a Viper on this map, how do you approach taking root control early on the defense? Presumably you put your Fade and your Raze there, which is what is currently being set up.
Yeah.
So, or rather, it's a Breach, not the Fade, excuse me. Which is also a valid option. And they're going to at least use some utility, but nobody even put fully into position. Wingman will get the spike down, and Kid 6 is minute 30 into the round. That's all good. He'll be pushing forward a little bit too far this time.
Not all good all the time. And they lose Sob Supply. That's 3 unanswered kills coming out for Evanston. Chow's going to be whittled down, and Penguin and Laser may be able to make this a little bit more costly than expected. So 3 kills for Carmel.
Okay.
Laser's going to make it 4.
HP low.
1 and Lasers with the clutch. 2 versus 4.
There we go again.
Unbelievable there. 3 unanswered rounds now in a row to start off Lotus.
I mean, that's also, just if we're drawing comparisons and looking from map to map, thinking back to Neek's 1v4, there's a Laser 1v3. Awful similar, if you ask me. It's back onto the pistol, and bonus round no more. This is beautiful work from Carmel.
Beautiful work for Carmel for sure here on this attack. They are cooking here. They are cooking with gas right now. Chow gets caught a little bit earlier here. Kid 6 going to be watching the revolving doors. Neek follows next. Wingman's getting the spike planted as quick as possible. And while that happens, they are hunting for these members of Evanston.
Wu is eating well tonight. He's got 4 of them. An anti-eco, sure, it's not the most impressive of kills, but it's numbers, and he's pumping big numbers right now. Wu, he is indeed delivering on this Reyna. Already showing what that looks like.
Now with the rifles, I just need to see some control from these defenders. Evanston, they need to find a way to slow down Carmel at this rate. It's just Carmel is just trying to get on the side as quick as possible and get that spike down, and they need to stop it some way.
Speaking of trying to get there, that's the opposite of what they did here at the beginning of this round. Just looking, waiting for any instant aggression. When that doesn't come, now, same situation. I mentioned in between games, Seymour, this team, Carmel High School, they love to 5-man. They love to play together. It's stick together, play for the trades, and then play the post plant. And in their defense, it's an effective strategy.
It has been working for the past 4 rounds. Thrash is going to pave the way into sight. Jay Dizzy and P Killa opens the round up with 2 kills for Evanston.
Sob Supplier, what a forward position. But now it's the Empress that's got to deliver. Never mind, it's gone. So is Kid 6. Playing together, all well and good, but you have to hit the shots, and this time they don't. It's all to Evanston, who finally get on the board. Again, similar storyline, though Carmel, the one leading the charge.
Yeah, and honestly, it's similar to the point where you look at the way that they put their first round on the board here for Evanston. It's the trades at the end.
Yeah, sticking together.
And P Killa, they get those first 2 kills through the revolving door. And they keep their life for the retake. Sop Supplier heads up play to get aggressive, but at the same time gives up that chance to, hold angles and maybe play together for the rest of the team. And you just see, Carmel, they just get a little bit too split up there.
The A site has simply not existed for Carmel High School up till this point. Basically, B, C, that's the only place that they've been. And this time, they're just walking. No contact whatsoever. Right up A through rubble. And as soon as they make contact, they're going to explode.
Neek needs to give a little bit of help over towards Showit. He's going to be able to at least find one. Second one would be enough to hopefully keep this round in control, and Neek's going to make it happen. 3 versus 3, though, as Jay Dizzy falls.
Massive
Paranoia not going to land onto anybody. Laser finds P-Killa, and that puts them at the disadvantage yet again. Reckless is going to be known. 1 versus 2. Losing out on Neek. It's going to make this very, very difficult. Heaven control for Wu.
Find you.
Not too far away.
That's so much info. That haunt's perfect.
And he knows to choke that Heaven, but it's not an easy fight to take. Wu set on a pedestal in this round. Puts 5 on the board for Carmel.
Sorry. Ears still reading.
Why, man, it's so unfortunate that Reckless doesn't get a better gunfight there. That haunt was so intelligent. Not going down gives him the information that nobody's free. Not a single player there. And focus all his energy towards the site, but it doesn't matter. Wu has just continued. It's always a question mark when you see somebody playing as well as Wu did in the semifinals. How much can that continue? When does that stop? And typically, you get overheated or you just can't continue to find that sort of success for so long. Wu is just built different. He can. Somehow, some way, he does.
Crossfire set up for Jay Dizzy. He's going to find Laser. Couple shots there for Chow Land. A little bit of damage, but no kills. Spike going down. And you lose Neek, too. He's a player you just cannot lose in that situation.
No, especially when he is one of the big hero rifles. We're up here for this round. Everybody else is not quite lost, but with an additional recovered weapon, I'd imagine exits would be good.
Jay Dizzy gets caught, detained,
boy.
and dead.
Remaining.
Sob Supplier's going to clear out stairs. Reckless is known, and here comes the cavalry. Wu finds 3 yet again. Not a big fan of the Reyna pick to start off this map, but I am becoming... I'm slowly becoming a fan of it.
Yeah, I do hate to mention it, but Chow currently secret agent status, 007.
Ooh.
And as much as that normally wouldn't be that big a deal, I think that Chow has been the contact for a lot of these hits, whether that be towards A or towards C. The way that he's been postured because he's on the chamber has been in a forward position with a potential rendezvous to get out of there, and that just hasn't been so successful.
I think that's the issues with Chamber on Lotus now. He just doesn't have as much room to feel free to do whatever he pleases. So, Chow, not a lot of time to make these plays, and just shots have not been hitting. So, headshot angle here for the Headhunter. Lear is out. That small little information is going to pull these players away from B.
Oh, massive. And evacuation of the area. Well, granted, there is still someone sticking around. That's Reckless, who's chilling at C, but that isn't going to change the fact that Wingman will get the spike down, and Sop Supplier is all the way forward.
Reckless hasn't been spotted by this camera at all, just hiding away in the dark cover.
Spike planted.
Nothing to be done here for Reckless, just waiting for an opportunity. An opportunity hasn't been shown, and Neek just walks right through. Reckless finally going to make a play. A trade with the Sheriff, but is it enough? Spike is down, and you still have the rifles to worry about, but P-Killa next up to hit the shot. Wu out of it. Chow finds Penguin. Laser, Kid 6, the only ones left alive, and Reckless is making this so costly. It's just not going to be around for him. No thrifties here. It is 7 rounds on the board for Carmel's attack.
Laser showing up big time in these 1v1s and the clutch moments, much like Neek did on map number 1. It's the Omen Laser for Carmel High School, just ensuring that anything that is going poorly doesn't end poorly for the squad. Again, this triple setup, trying to fight aggressively towards Root, towards Rebel. It's not as easy to work with this setup, but it is incredibly effective as long as you don't go down.
That is stipulation here. It's 1-for-1 trade. At least takes Wu out of the equation. And heading over towards C, 2 players going to be set up here. Reckless going to throw to Prowler. Information, the C's catches at least Sop inside of his cage.
Nice.
Shot in the back, but you lose out on Shell. Reckless needs to find a second one, but it's just not the case. Penguin spamming through the smoke, finds Neek, and again, it just falls apart. P-Killer has the Rolling Thunder. Do you use it here?
Problem is, they had 5 ults at the beginning of this round at Evanston, and they didn't use any of them. Nothing aggressive. I can't imagine the reason why. At this point, I think it's a little too late, but
100%.
gotta give it your best shot.
Yeah, out on mine. Kid 6 just waiting for the tap. Time in their hands. P-Killer gonna make a little bit of noise, but nobody's gonna take the bait. They know all they need to do is wait for him to touch this spike, and Kid 6 gonna put it away. It is a map pick for Evanston, but it is Carmel who have showed up to play.
And I think this is now Carmel bettering the Evanston scoreline at its best on Bind. I think it was 7-1 at one junction, but 8-1. And those 5 ults, I mean, I'm not even on the team and they're burning a hole in my pocket. There's nothing left. My pockets are gone. And that early haunt, it's here's what's up with that haunt. It's just a little lazy. Doesn't quite give as much information as you would have hoped. And Sop's a player. He's got a kill. He's fallen back from the shadows. It's all so good here for Carmel High.
Ooh, catches them in his net. The web at Cypher puts down, and he is just so good at commanding this game. Sop Supplier has really been an issue here in this round. 4 kills there, 9 rounds. Only 2 more left in this half, and 5 ultimates on one side, 4 ultimates on the other. Neither team wanted to use them.
This is a very late timeout. Nate calling it. Captain of the squad trying to rally the troops, but here's the problem. It's 9-1. At this point, I won't call it useless because it's always better to take the timeout than not. But it's too late to have a real recovery. It's a let's just not get rolled. I need to see a game plan, Seymour.
I do too.
These 5 ultimates, I know I keep talking about them.
There.
Please stop me.
Use one. Just use one.
Evanston, please. I beg of you.
Anything.
Yeah, we just need to see some sort of game plan because there's so many ideas that you could use with the Showstopper or the Rolling Thunder or the Nightfall or even the From the Shadows. Just getting early information out towards like Mound or something, it would be massive.
It's got to be something, Vincent. Honestly, when it comes down to strategy, of course, I'd like to see it, but I think it's something to say when you are losing out on these sites so fast and just barely scraping away with anything to take home here. 1 round was found, but that's not where you want to end it. We see the tour de force locking down the C site, but all the action is heading into B, and a race through A on this flank is going to be caught by the Cypher traps. Now, as soon as they know, Reckless is going to have so much to do here.
I love that wingman as well, getting the plant, and in the meantime, tossing the Dizzy out back in order to deny the pillar push.
Wu gets tagged, but Penguin finished the kill. And because Wu did a little bit of damage, he's able to heal all the way back here on this Reyna with the overheal. Neek looking for an angle, finds it. Headshot through the wall onto Kid 6. 3 versus 4. You still have these smokes to work
Rolling
around.
Thunder!
Aftershock. The aggression for Penguin. That's the third one we've seen this half. JD's going to be caught yet again. It's all down to P-Killa, but he can't do anything. 10 rounds. Double digits found here from Carmel.
I'm starting to get really worried about the Evanston mental fortitude right now. Because it seems to me, even after a timeout like that, yes, they change up the way that they're approaching things, but they don't use the tools at their disposal. And that suggests that maybe they're a little bit mentally boomed right now. Obviously speculation, but you had the Rolling Thunder maybe to toss in there, the Nightfall. That would have been perfect for the retake. All these options left on the table.
Where are you? Still waiting.
This time it's out mount. The triple push, same idea. Actually, same 3 players, but over towards C. And Woo should hear him coming.
For it. They're expecting it. Sitting in spawn, waiting for these gunfights to unfold, and Woo's going to walk away with all of them. A double kill to close it out. And A side, there's no need to push here in this last round. You would have liked to see a second, but with the momentum that Carmel's riding through inside of Lotus, this may be a little bit too far gone, Vincent.
Yeah, it's an unstoppable force that is Carmel High School. Where do you go from here? I mean, retake, that's the answer. But Evanston, I wouldn't even call this particularly unwinnable. It's showstopper. That's the biggest problem. You've got a Nightfall to work with. Sticking together, playing it close to the vest. But look at how far out everyone in as the flank is coming in.
Penguin is getting so much information here. As soon as he checks Waterfall, they know it's just the slow push through C main. So Penguin now get to set up, mound control, set up, showstopper at the ready. And they just got to fight this one out. Reckless losing so much here. Chow's going to be whittled down, and it's the showstopper to put him to rest. Woo clears out Reckless.
Switching sides.
And right now, Carmel, as we swap sides to their defensive half, only 2 rounds needed to send us to split.
This is the most dominant game we've seen on stream today, and it's not even particularly close. This is looking like the Carmel High School that came out in 13-3 their opponents in the first quarterfinal. This is what we could expect from the #1 seed. And if Indiana, how much more dominant could it get? Well, second pistol round, that would be pretty much the most.
This feels like a must-win round from Evanston. Because you don't normally see Thrifties in round 2 of half. Evanston would need to really put on a masterclass here to come back on Lotus. I know the attacking side is definitely favored, but I don't know if it's favored like this. But Chow leads us here in the second half.
That's something better to see from that chamber. Oh, the paranoia. This is perfect. They're all walking in them.
How do they answer it? Laser goes down, but Kid 6 trades it. Penguin equalizes 3-on-3. Chow still tucked away in B main. J Dizzy looking to just stay alive now. They know exactly where Stop is. And all attention towards the Cypher, the Prowler at the ready to keep him back. Although the Ghost may be good, it has to be the most incredible 3 shots of your life, but not able to land that first one. The rendezvous back, and JDZ swings out. Pistol round keeps Evanston alive.
Yeah, there we go. This is a very long process, multiple steps, but step number 1 was winning that pistol round. Getting on the board and now trying to solidify your position. It's never going to be an easy run, but if there's anybody that can do it, anybody that we've watched today, Seymour, it's Evanston. This is a team that stayed strong. Even when they had a lead, they faltered, floundering that into overtime. They stayed in it. Evanston, a squad that I believe can make this comeback, though unlikely.
Camera. Gonna tag the spike planter, trapped on the inside, but who is trapped with who? Because J Dizzy's gonna push out Bucky, Neek, and J Dizzy. Everybody finding kill possibility for the teammates. Will it be the case? Woo's going to find Neek and dismiss back out. His Aftershock's going to make it hard for Wu to re-engage. Just tucked away on a corner. No team ace, but it's Chow to keep things going. The least of their worries is acing as a full team. They just need these round wins.
Yeah, I mean, none of that fancy stuff. Who cares? We just want the rounds. And straight out to B is pretty simple on an anti-eco. Not much that can be put together on that retake. The strategy for Carmel, they pretty much stuck together the entirety of their attacker half, whether that be standing and waiting or walking or running. No matter what, they were a full squad, and it seems like that's the plan of action for Evanston in this round as well. All 5 walking out into Mound, and no upgrades, by the way.
Not at all. Even with how much pressure is here to win these rounds, they're just going to look to do it the old-fashioned way with this bonus. If they're giving up the site, this is definitely possible.
Yeah, site fully giving up. Neek will be able to put that spike down, and
no flanks.
Yeah, this is, on paper, incredibly winnable.
Low HP, though, for Jay Dizzy. Reckless tucked away with the Bucky. Looks like they're going to clear it out, and they're doing a great job at collecting with these kills. They all lined up, and Chow gets out. 1v2, though. Only a Spectre, full HP for sure. The Dark Cover's about to go down. Chow finds a 4th one, and now for the ace. 33 HP. Woo's not going to let that happen. Shuts down the ace. Chance for Chow. A Spectre and 33 HP is just a little bit too far gone, Vincent. And now, what does that mean? Map point for Carmel to send us to split.
And an actual ton of them. Literally 2,000 pounds worth is the answer. Honestly, maybe it would have been a better chance to go to the headhunter there in that clutch, now that I'm thinking about it. I mean, hindsight 2020 and all. But what a valiant attempt from Chow. Started out this map pretty slow. Has come back to be in line with just about everybody, but as much as that feels good for Chow at 12-3, I don't think it matters. They're doing it again. Sticking together.
Back over towards A. I mean, power in numbers. Kid 6, though, Sheriff.
I mean, look at this push.
Deadly. Oh, they cleared out. That could have gone a little bit worse for Ware.
Well, Trademark's going to catch Wu. I mean, but they know it's A. There's no question marks about this. The plant's already down. And, well, trying to get in with a Bucky now, that's going to be hard.
You're looking at the Sheriffs to really seize control of this retake, but easy. Chow making it even more difficult with a kill there onto Wu. Phantom picked up by Sop and immediately sent back to the ground. 2 versus 5. Penguin, all he's got is a Bucky. I'm sorry. Bucky's pretty good, but it just does not reach that far. So,
no.
4 rounds here. And every single round that Evanston picks up now, Vincent, you know, even if this isn't a round or a map win for them, every single round is so important if they go to split.
And why is it important? It's important because instead of just getting demolished, instead of, you know, instantly having to go into the next map and looking back and saying, we won like a round on that map. We were awful. Instead of that being in your mind, it's, we were making the comeback. You know, we just had a bad half. It's fine. Like, that difference in mentality, it is huge.
Could be the difference of a bounce back in map 3 or yet another absolute roll. So, we need the spike down at C yet again.
There we go. Finally found the camera.
Like this angle for Jay Dizzy, but the smoke is out now. So, very punishable here. Dizzy's out, caught by it. Double kill comes out with Kid 6. Finding in third is Kid 6 getting all the players on the exit. Chow alone. A couple nice shots. 71 HP and a Vandal here. Almost makes it a 1v1 and almost gives himself a chance. Chow, what a typical way to end out Lotus. A big turnaround for Chow for sure, but that game, as soon as I saw an 11-1 half, that was a very difficult game to come back from.
Yeah, as much as I, was talking up Evanston's possibilities of comebacks, I'm in the same boat. Yeah, you see an 11-1, and your hopes and dreams of a comeback just fall to near zero, whatever the closest you could get to that is. And I think props to Chow again. Talking mentality, going from a really bad start. We, talked about 0-7 at one point there. To the top of the leaderboard at the end, really started to build back into things. That's really good news for Split, but at the end of the day, Carmel High School can be darn proud of their performance here. Whether that be Woo, whether that be Kid 6, whether that be Laser, who was phenomenal in the clutch, everybody was playing to perfection.
Everybody was playing their game here on Lotus, and it works out perfectly for Carmel High School. Heading into Split, definitely confidence going to be in their camp, Vincent. And for the other side, for their opponents here heading into towards it, it's just, can you bounce back if you're Evanston going towards this third map? Because map number 1 is very close, 13-11. Map number 2, your map pick, 13-4. That is going to sting a little bit. So as we head to a quick little break to get things set up for map number 3 of this grand final, it is going to be a much-needed break for some of these players. We'll see you on the other side with some more LOS Scholastic Champs. Welcome back, everyone, to the League OS Scholastic Champs. My name is Seymour. With me is Vincent. We're heading into the last possible map of this grand final. Split is on the chopping block now between Carmel as well as Evanston. Vincent, this is where a champion is born. This is where a team is crowned. This is where it all ends.
Indeed. And, well, Evanston, after an impressive showing on Bind, where they edged out victory, man, did they look like a different team. More so, Carmel looked like a different team, a different beast, in all honesty. 13-4 was the scoreline.
This is what it looks like, or what you would expect it to look like with the number 1 seed heading in towards this tournament. I feel like as soon as you and I talked about it, getting one of, Kid 6 or Penguin off of that duelist role into a more supportive role for Woo and Kid 6, and like we saw on Lotus, Penguin moving over towards that Gecko may have been exactly what they needed to find that dominant form.
Yeah, I think just understanding that, hey, there's only a certain amount of space, a certain amount of roles that you can have where you're being ultra aggressive, you're taking all the fights, you're getting set up for the engagements. There's only a certain amount of space for that, and putting both of your players that have been dominating in that role into that space, it's a great idea. And we saw that work beautifully. Now we head into Split. You want to know a fun fact about Split? Split is technically no longer defensive sided.
That's been known. I feel like that's been known.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Ever since that, we have been seeing, I guess, a rise in the double controller composition, less vision on a map like Split to, take that space on defense. It's been a lot more, I'd say, explosive of a map. As soon as all the utility is done, as soon as those walls go down from these Vipers, it is just go time for one of the teams to just take that site and set up a post plan. And then with that double duelist composition or double controller composition, Vincent, it is then you're looking at them to set up this post plan without enabling vision for the retake.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I think that in reality, there's a lot of games where this still does feel a bit of a defensive sided map, but yeah, it is sure. that double controller that makes it difficult to take space. And I'm so glad that you mentioned the double controller, because I think that Carmel are allergic to it.
I think so too.
They're allergic to Viper in particular. I don't think they played Viper once today, and we've seen some Viper maps, like Lotus especially, and now no Viper on Split.
Makes me wonder why we didn't get to see the Viper on Lotus coming out from Evanston, if they're gonna bring it out here on Split. But that's in the past, Vincent. We're now into crunch time between these two teams, and my eyes are on Kid 6. Completely on Kid 6 heading into this one. For the Raze pick, Raze, such a good pick on Split. very good for taking these early fights. I know Wu's been doing Wu things, but back in the semifinals, Kid 6 struggled a little bit, and it went to overtime. But back on Lotus, inside binds, he looked a lot better, and they have been so good in this grand final.
Yeah, and back to just this double duelist as well. Love to see that. It'll be Chow leading the charge. Now on the duelist, which is something we haven't seen from him, and I'm interested to see how that goes as well.
Shots coming out. Spike goes down. But you lose out on a couple here. Back and forth trades. Chow and Pikila still split kill feed. Red and green. Laser on the height. Looking to watch over this one for the defenders to get back into this one. It is just complete dominant control being looked at here from the rest of Carmel. From Evanston. Laser just does not have any way to take these fights. And he has no idea that the sky is below him. J Dizzy's going to win it out. And that's going to be the first round heading the way of Evanston.
Yeah, Chow just blasts back right onto the site, finding the space to work with. And yeah, though Chow goes down, it doesn't matter. He got the first kill. And that's what's so important, dispatching with Kid 6 and making sure that the pressure applied makes it so much more easy to deal with that retake. Not to mention the fact that the time that it took for that flank to get activated sort of gave away the gambit. And by the time Wu got there, it was somewhat obvious they were headed that direction.
And now Evanston completely looking to wipe Lotus from their brains, Vincent. Win the pistol rounds. Already, things looking better for this team.
It's hard to look worse, unfortunately. Or maybe fortunately? I don't know. You tell me.
Who's good or bad? Careful. Trying to get aggressive through A main. Reckless is going to catch this Reyna. And now working the way over towards Robes. Who's going to be here? It's Laser at the bottom. Looking to welcome some of these members. I don't know if they're going to expect it. They do not. Laser. Not one, not two, but three with the classic. A Spectre picked up. And this is shambles now. Reckless.
How's this happen?
Can he pick this one back up? He can. Into spawn. Stop's gonna get caught off and running it down.
No!
That shot don't land with the Spectre. What did I just witness?
You just witnessed tragedy currently in display on the map of Split. How has this happened, Evanston? Not like that. Another eco win. Carmel. Hi. They do it again. And it's Laser and Kid 6. 5 kills with classics between them.
Right there.
Oh my goodness, Vincent. I cannot believe what is happening right now. Like, that was it right there for Reckless. That was the round, all said and done. And now you're going to be sitting at a 2-1 deficit after you get absolutely cut to pieces here inside of round 3.
Yeah, I mean, we were speed running round 3. Woo. As soon as they started coming through that toxic screen. By the way, that's why the toxic screen is so powerful here. Is just, you're walking through it. It can be so difficult. I mean, I understand that it was set up by the attackers, but feels bad. Sticking together. Back out towards A. It didn't work the last time, but on the eco. So now on the rifles, they're going to try it again. Reckless, the only one to push elsewhere. We'll be walking forward to hold for mid pushes. And in the meantime, the rest of the team can just cross over and get some space. I'm going to take Heaven.
I know exactly.
Nice shot. Wu able to cut this down to the 3-on-3, and with the neural theft into position, it'll be a rotation call. Setting up for the retake, and not too much more to contend with. At least not until the spike goes down. Reckless has a great angle, and they don't check it! Sop supplier falls. Problems continuing to brew, and even more so as the retake comes through. Penguin trying to lead the charge and make some space to work with. Woo, a fantastic shot, and Woo's gonna do them all! 1, 2, 3, and 4. The spray down with the Phantom in hand.
Oh, what a play right there that we just saw. Penguin's gonna get the defuse, all 4 kills, and again, Evanston shut down out on the site with the spike planted this time. They just cannot hold their ground, Vincent, and I think Carmel, after the damage done on Lotus, is some kind of, I don't know what awakened in their minds, but they just cannot be stopped right now.
Yeah, and beyond that, just the hold there up at Heaven from that position, able to equalize things. That kind of step number 1, the push initially getting stalled out there at A, and the adjustment back over towards B, where Woo was simply there to stop anything from continuing forward. The post plant, well, it's not just the post plant, it's everything. On the fault line as well. Woo wants them all.
Yeah, Woo's looking to grab everything here, hunting down with the Sheriff. Snake gonna find a kill on the opposite end, but immediately traded out by Laser. Still continue to press on here as Chow getting the trades for his teammates, but look at the damage onto Evanston. 59 HP for Chow, and now looking to cut this distance with the Vandal flies at Sop. Not able to land those shots, not able to get the gun up in time. P-Killer flashed out by the sky, the blinding light, to be able to put 4 on the board here for this team.
You know what's crazy? I think if he has the judge there, that's a winning strategy. Judge is open.
For sure. I mean, there's nothing else to say other than that. If that's a judge, that's a kill.
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes the judge is better. Me and my judge love for this map is just going to go incredibly biased. Just fair warning. I'm down for the
hate.
A little both. I mean, if I'm wielding it, it's love. If anybody else has it, it's hate. But in this game, it's all love.
All love, all the time. From Vincent. Penguin starts off the round with the first blood into Reckless. That's Cypher gone. Proved to be a little bit difficult now for the post plants here, but still looking to see if this Trailblazer can find some kind of a path in towards B, and it has. Laser and Sop, only 2 here to defend it. Laser's going to peek out, but he lose out on Sop, and it's all down to Laser to make a play, which he does. Laser finds 2. That's going to stop the spike from getting planted. Luckily, though, from Evanston, Chow going to continue to keep this even. Kill there. Going to bring the showstopper up.
Zoning.
Zoning all for sure. That just allows the spike to get planted.
Oh, no! Jay Dizzy got off of it! What a monumental screw up there. Jay Dizzy lucky to stay alive in the jump spot as well.
One enemy remaining.
Dizzy's gonna peek out, finds the kill onto Woo. 17 HP for Chow, and it's enough to win it. Chow finds 3, and those 3 kills will finally stop the momentum that we've seen from Carmel.
Jay Dizzy almost doing some trolling right there off the spike, but then that jump spot alongside the double swing, he absolutely recovered and redeemed himself after that one. Chow changing all the time and finding some incredible success after the struggle at the beginning of Lotus into a comeback strategy. Is now starting out strong here on Split.
Very, very strong, Vincent. Sop may have just gotten some very poor timing just backing up here. Looks like the Asher Star is going to be out here, but it's not going to stop Chow from satcheling on in. Catches Kid 6, looking the wrong way, tries to get the gun up, will find a second one, but Laser's here to shut the gates yet again. A double kill from the Astra. Provide at the ready, but it doesn't mean that the Phantom is enough. Laser doing everything right now to keep Evanston down.
I mean, they thought that there was going to be time just to get back onto this site. Reckless is so far away, and Laser will find his 4th. This guy is just continuing what he started on Lotus alongside Wu. 5-2, and the domination starting to show. 4 ults prepared for Carmel High.
Four ults high for Carmel, looking to at least make this one a 6-2, guaranteed an even half for themselves on split, but I'm sure they're aiming a little bit higher than that. Vincent, Marshall's out for Reckless. Wants to play for this first blood. Wall's going to be up, and Wu's just throwing his shoulders, going to spot that information and immediately just relay that to the rest of the team.
And as good as that information is, Wu doesn't even have to take these fights, so I wouldn't be surprised if he does. This is just holding, waiting, and Reckless is feeling the same thing. The pressure's starting to mount, and finally Wu swings out. But that's even further confirmation, and that is, I think, a 5-man fault line.
Catches literally everybody and holds them still. Wu just continued to chip away at this damage, and Evanston are too scared to move away, but too scared to push in.
I mean, even if it's not about being scared, it's just about being caught up in utility, unable to make any moves reasonably. Though we're going to commit here. This will be a bit of a fake, and okay, that's a fantastic way to fake things out. Reckless with the Marshall will catch Wu off guard. There's just one player at B, and that's the Guiding Light already set out left for Sop Supplier.
Sop needs 1, 2 would be fantastic, but finds absolutely 0. Luckily, Laser has been on point over towards B. And you still have this Cosmic Divide Spike not going to get planted. The paint shell is held at bay by the Gravity Well. The combo takes care of P-Killer. Chow's going to be caught high and dry out in the open, and there's just no time.
No, the spike was re-recovered, but oh, indeed, they're just not fast enough. It was a great attempt. I feel like the game plan there from Neek was phenomenal. Unfortunately, time expiration. That 6th man once again.
Yeah, that 6th man once again coming into value here on split. Not having to use a single ultimate here is what makes me very scared for Evanston heading into these next couple of rounds, because the fact that Carmel can look this good, Vincent, and not have to use any ultimates, what happens when they do decide to use them?
That's a great question, which I have no answers for, other than ouch, probably, almost certainly. Mid control, typically a big part of this map, hasn't been a real contentious piece of the puzzle just yet for Evanston. I'd like to see them try and fight for more of that control instead. 4 players walking out to B.
JJ's going to catch Kid 6 a little bit blind here with that Guiding Light. Unfortunately, not going to be able to wrap it around the end. Just a little bit of a gap in the Nebula, and JJ's going to take some damage off that, but it's the Seekers to find their way in. Fault Line's going to catch Chow. Now trapped on the inside. Viper's Pit has to be activated, trying to fight their way through this site. And a 4 versus 4. The domain is going to be activated, but will that stop Carmel? Chow, Neek, Chow, everybody fighting a little bit here and there. Penguin now 1 versus 1.
One bullet.
Thunder. It's going to send him to the skies.
Oh!
Neek gets caught, and Penguin, who swaps over to the Phantom. I cannot believe it. Another clutch for Carmel.
They keep doing it. They keep making it happen. And every time I think it's sealed away for Evanston, this is the round. Surely there's no way to stop them. It happens again. And Penguin there to do it. The Rolling Thunder in the 1v1. I don't know if that is something you see every day, but I certainly do not. Absolutely committed. Love it. Whew. 5 players once again stacked up towards A. It's as if right now Evanston, their game plan from the early round is just so one-dimensional. Oh, the ball line, it hits like 3 players. So great for Penguin, who's got a million assists, I'm sure.
Yeah, Penguin has just been teeing up his teammates non-stop ever since Lotus. And I don't think he's expecting to stop anytime soon. The re-clear from Zop should show that there's going to be no aggression over towards A, but this is the right call to make heading back to B. Not sure if they're going to time this one right with the gravity wells and maybe stall this one out. Maybe a Nebula. No, Neek's going to make it through.
Yeah, but I mean, even though they do Showstopper in hand, there's Cosmic Divide as well. Trying to utilize these bits of utility might be fantastic. I think the Seekers could be popped out to give them an idea of where this retake is coming. And in fairness, it's all coming from only 2 angles.
Yeah, Jay Dizzy's going to peek out.
Oh,
catches Kid 6. Seekers now 2 versus 2, but the paint shells are at his feet, and Neek not able to trade out the rest. Unfortunately for Jay Dizzy, caught a little bit standing still. Those paint shells gonna send him to the next round, and it's gonna be another clutch for Carmel. 8 rounds guaranteed.
It's always Laser as well, stuck in these 1v1s late into situations. And I mean, again, every single time it's just been delivery after delivery. This Carmel High School team, they go down, but they definitely are never out. Every time they are right back in it. This, remember, we were talking about, well, down a map, gotta come back for the reverse sweep, etc., etc. Now they're up 8-2. 6 rounds in the lead, and they go back to A.
Woo, trying to line them up yet again. Penguin's going to find a second one. Penguin with a third. Goes back in, takes down the 4th member. 3 kills out of Penguin. Jay Dizzy yet again in a spot where he has to clutch Vincent. This early damage coming out from these defenders. It is just too much for Evanston to fight against.
I mean, it's just been phenomenal breach utility as well on this A side of things. Ooh, nice shot. That's a spicy one. It's gonna give him 1v1s. Don't give him a chance.
Here's the chance. Flash out. Sop says no, not a chance at all. And this is, I mean, Carmel have awoken a different part of them heading into this grand final. You know, game number 1, as well as their semifinal, Vincent, were so close. But I don't know what changed heading into games 2 and 3.
I mean, I will tell you what changed. They changed the comp. I know I'm being absurd. This is definitely some bias here, but confirmation bias, that is. But I think changing their comp actually is a huge part of them finding success.
I agree with you. I mean, it was the one big issue that you and I had with this team that made it seem a little bit awkward for them at times. And now that they don't have that awkwardness to their gameplay, it's very fluid, it's very dominant, and there's just nothing that can stop them, it seems.
No way!
From above, the Showstopper collects, and the Showstopper keeps this one in absolute favor once again of these defenders. Spike not planted. What is the call here?
Oh, Neeks just from the shadows right over to the A site. This is how terrified we're currently seeing this Evanston team play. They would rather send their Omen alone to A than try and take this fight straight up.
Well, maybe that's the case. Reckless is going to catch Penguin on the rotation. Now set up in towards ropes. Sop has the element of surprise. Wrapping around to Picard with the flash out. Unfortunate for Sop, but maybe a little bit of an angel in disguise here for the likes of Evanston as they close out the half 9-3, heading into the defensive side of Split. Vincent, I know you said that Split no longer so much of a defensive-sided map, but after a performance like that from Carmel, I'm sure with Evanston fans out there, they are hoping for it to be.
Yeah, I mean, you could still find success on the defense. I think let's also, add some things together. Evanston on this Viper, I think that really is effective for the defense. Definitely gives them a bit of a better pathway back to success than without. But not only that, the Cypher really strong here defensively as well. All of those things, will they be enough? That is the question.
The answer? Just gonna have to see. E-Killer's gonna be setting up a very controlling wall. Unfortunately, nobody's going to be watching for the push through, and Kid6 just walks in for free, not only finding the first one, but a second kill as well. Opens up the site for the plant, and he's sitting in a 3 versus 3 for the retake with a flank coming out.
That tower control fully gone, and Reckless, what a shot. Now the flank has to come sooner rather than later.
Last player
And
standing.
Zop's going to make this one a little bit more difficult for Neek. Fortunately, spike not planted for the member in heaven. The slow push out from Laser, and he's able to win it out. Not sure if Neek expected to just hold it down for the full defuse, or only tried to get towards half, but a bit of a freebie there from Laser, and that's going to start the second half again. With the pistol round here this time going the way of Carmel.
Double digits as well, keeping that in mind. Though, if you do recall, pistol round last half, there was some shenanigans. We saw nice win from Evanston, turned immediately on its head by the Eco victory. It was Sheriff's galore.
Boy, this one, P-Killa is just going to be looking to take some fights early on. Soup, Sop, and Kid6 going to put this one out of commission for the likes of Evanston. Neek just hiding away with the shorty, all right.
Small shotgun over big shotgun.
$200 gun, by the way. Upgrading over towards the judge, though, around the corner. 2 players flashed out, but not enough bullets to deal with it. Blocked off by his teammate, Reckless. I don't think there's enough damage to actually make anything out of this classic. So 11 rounds picked up here from the now attacking Carmel High School. 2 rounds away from being our Scholastic champs.
I mean, how do you bring this back? This is the gun round. This is the time to show what you've got. We've seen so much from this squad, but I mean, Neek been a little bit missing throughout this third map. I think it's fair to mention, as much as, you know, on the Omen, normally not the agent you would expect to see, you know, massive fragging on, but Neek has been doing it all throughout this entire tournament run, and now missing it, it's certainly showing.
Certainly is, Vincent. Reckless going to be caught in the fault line. Just behind the side
goodness.
for Cage. Boombot
What
L
is he
for the
supposed
shot
to do?
through. Kid6 takes the shot, and it lands. And now everything falls onto the shoulders of the players inside B, but the weight of the world is a little bit too much to hold onto, as Carmel's going to overrun this one, and with the spike going down, these 2 players going to have so much to deal with. Just underneath them is going to be Penguin and Laser. Again, the 2v2 goes the way of Carmel. And Carmel High School, they have arrived to grand final point.
Everything on the line here, and it's up to a 9-round comeback. Evanston showed some incredible mental stability to get here in those semifinals, pushed into overtime, back and forth all the way through. A 13-11 victory on their opponent's map pick in their first map of this series. And from there, nothing has gone their way. They need it badly here and now.
Judge, P-Killa, could this be the way back? No. Sop and Kid6 answering in full. 2 kills go the way of Carmel, and now the spike is down.
Surely not. Neural theft maybe could be utilized. No, the showstopper, it's not gonna connect.
Doesn't. Reckless trying to do his best, but they line up for Kid6, and that's a 4K to put it away, standing on top of the state champions. It's none other than our #1 seed, Carmel High School, atop their throne.
Yeah, this squad, they walked into this looking good. That was their first game was a 13-3 in the quarterfinals. It was a struggle ever since then, overtime period in the semifinals, and we saw them push to the limit, in fact overcome on their own map pick.
Yeah.
But since then, unstoppable, dropping just 7 rounds in the last 2 maps for the reverse sweep.
Absolute incredible stats to be shown here as we take a look over towards our scoreboard a little bit prior to us heading back over to the cameras. Laser on top, 20-8. We talk about a little bit of a turnaround here, Vincent. Well, it was Laser in game 3 who steps up to the occasion. I mean, Laser had a fantastic Lotus for sure, but overcoming Kid 6 and Wu in that last game, you could see just how much Laser wanted to win.
Yeah, and I think that the step up as well for Kid 6 over, the semifinal game that didn't look as good, but then into this series, Kid 6's step up was humongous, and you can't stop talking about Wu. I feel like we've given this man his flowers all game, all tournament long, really, and it's so well deserved. Continuing to find success, still, maybe not at the top of the leaderboard, but still with the most first bloods of anyone on the server.
Yeah, and with all said and done here in the grand finals, we're going to be welcoming the CEO of League OS back in towards the casting booth. Welcome back, Marty. And, what do you think about everything we just saw? That was a grueling grand final.
A marathon, amazing action, and I'm just beside myself, impressed by you guys. You guys called an incredible series of matches tonight, and Carmel, starting as our number 1 seed, and it wasn't easy. They had to go the distance here, but really impressive. I'm just proud of all the teams that earned their way here to the Champions Invitational, our first ever Winter Champions Invitational series. We're really excited to do this, give the teams something else to play for when they're going to state and trying to become the best in their state. Now they get a chance to play across state lines. Order battles back-to-back at the end, but Indiana over Illinois, a lot of bragging rights, and they did it at the later time zone too. So really impressive. And thank you guys again for really making it fun and interesting and helping a guy like me understand what was going on.
No, it's our pleasure, Marty, for sure. It is, to my understanding, that a member is going to be nominated as the MVP. Is there anything to be said about that right now?
Yes, we have been looking for not only a champion of champions team coming out of these these Champions Invitationals, but also and there's a prize waiting for the MVP. We'll be looking at the stats. We get all the stats, of course, in League OS coming out of these matches. So to be determined, I don't think we have it announced right now. Do we actually, I'm going to ask this unscripted, do we have a result from the third place match?
It seems like it was a forfeit from the Indy Knights, and New Albany, I think, are the victors of our third place spot. So Ohio coming away with that one.
Got it. All right. Well, another one. I mean, our first Valorant Champions Invitational, and we'll see who the MVP is. And there goes my light. Oh, here it comes back. It's that late. But I'll let you guys close us out. Just proud to be able to bring all these together, never having played before across state lines. We look forward to doing it again after all the spring championships are run, but a lot more to come between now and then. And of course, college recruiters watching throughout tonight and finding these players through the LOS College Portal, information about leagueos.gg, all the ways to connect the high school players with college opportunities. So thanks for keeping everybody informed of that as well.
It's a big shout out for LOS. I mean, the opportunities that it's providing to these students is absolutely incredible, Marty. Congratulations on the event run. Congratulations to the team too. And it seems like it's time that we close this one out, Vincent. Any finishing thoughts on the tournament from yourself?
Yeah, just really impressed with what this Carmel High School put together. They really dominated, and I think that there's absolutely, recruiters watching absolutely we're probably impressed with what these guys put together.
Couldn't agree more. Once again, big congratulations to Carmel High School, our Scholastic champions here in League OS, coming out on top within all 3 games of the grand final. Very well earned. It's time for the teams to celebrate. It's time for us to sign off, folks, and stay tuned for League OS for more tournaments in the future. But for now, have a great night, everybody.